Special address before we get into the plenary, and we have Sameer Ratholikar, Senior VP, HDFC, who's going to be joining us on stage for a special keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our next speaker for the session. Sameer, the stage is yours.
Good evening, friends. Thanks, DSCR, for having me here. And I think after a long time, I'm getting opportunity to meet a lot of known faces, friends, all InfoSec practitioners. I still remember 2006, 2007, when the count was in single digit, trust me. The InfoSec practitioners count was in single digits. And look at the transitions the country has made. Thanks to the progressive regulation and efforts by all stakeholders in the ecosystem. I mean, it's amazing to see every day the interest, the passion is growing, right? And glad to be part of this ecosystem. Truly, it's fantastic witnessing the growth. Anyway, so honestly, I don't have any specific topic in mind. But yes, I thought it's very important. What is relevant right now for the CISOs is the digital transformation, right? Especially in the banking industry. So how to ensure that the digital transformation happens, the CISOs will be continued viewed as the business enablers. At the same time, how to make sure that the security aspects are not compromised. So I thought maybe security embedded digital transformation could be the relevant topic for this 15-20 minutes of so-called, I would not say validatory sessions, but in terms of the plenary session, probably yes. So there are 2-3 elements when we talk about the security embedded digital transformation. Most important pillar in the digital transformation is the third-party vendors, okay? And this is not a new. We have been having the vendor ecosystems, in fact, the partners, what we call, with due respect, for quite some time now, right? And without vendors, the banking industry has not progressed, to be very honest with you. Whatever the evolution, the growth we are seeing, the major portion goes to the vendors, the partners working with the whole plethora of our banks. But now, the vendor ecosystems, the partners has taken a different shape in the form of fintechs. Right? And you have multiple fintechs operating out of our country. Some of them has become a unicorn, which is good, right? And very young people, and the complete mushrooming origination of these fintechs is out of cloud, right? Without cloud, probably we will have hardly any fintechs working with us. So when we talk about them, the first point to remember is, or rather, we will divide this whole ecosystem in 2 parts. Before onboarding them, after onboarding them. So before onboarding them, how do you really do a right amount of due diligence of the fintech's security architecture will lay a foundation for the next round of your successful or effective digital transformation. So at that point in time, it is very important that a fintech has a security organization structure. Fintechs has a proper security policies, security team working there who understand the importance of the security in the digital application rollout. Normally, my experience says there is a huge rush. There is a madness. The business folks comes to us saying that, hey Sameer, we want to go live in the next 15 days. The reasons are pretty common. Board mandate, MD mandate, the investor mandate. without getting under pressure, while not compromising on the agility aspects, the pod what we set up, the Scrum Master kind of architecture we built up to give us a pace to our digital initiatives, it is very important that the fundamental building blocks of security organization structure, the security policy, enforcement, and compliance, and having a basic understanding of the security elements, security controls, is extremely critical in onboarding your fintechs. Normally, we have seen with a completely rush, we just onboard them, and then the reactive element kicks in, whereby then the audit starts, and then audit results into multiple observations, and then you go on pushing them for rectifications, which takes its own sweet time. Probably this model may not work strategically, as the country is also sort of going on $1 trillion economy. It is very important that the fintechs do understand that if the fintech initiative or the digital transformations associated with any specific bank or a financial services company, if it has to be successful, having the basic building blocks on cybersecurity is extremely important. Another important point is after onboarding. After onboarding, then everything starts. The evaluation is one part of it. You have APIs, you have cloud, and you have a completely full stack visibility. I think these three pillars plays a huge role. So it is extremely essential that the APIs are secured end to end, right? Probably as the world is moving on the artificial intelligence era, I truly believe that the next few years down the line will be the years of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we all are witnessing it. I mean, there is no probably a rocket science new thing I am telling you. That is how the world will be dominated, the business model will be dominated, the financial industries will get dominated, right? So probably the attack vectors on APIs also will become more sophisticated. So it's important in my mind that even using the machine learning abilities in the API detections and ABI protections is a thought process in the days to come. When we talk about the cloud, it's everything. As I said, the fintechs today are the fintechs mushrooming, originating out of the clouds. And when we talk about the clouds, right, or when we talk about digital trust, clouds is the second side of the same coin. And when we talk about the cloud, making sure that the most important part, when I talk about the cloud, I will not go into the nuances of the technological ability, but one topic which comes to my mind talking about the cloud is full stack visibility. As the complexity is growing even within the cloud, getting the visibility about every component, right from a containers to a Kubernetes and the whole stitched ecosystem of cloud probably is going to be most important things to detect the attacks and anomalies in real time. So that is the area probably we all need to give focus, apart from our traditional thought process, which will never go. The defense in depth, the layer defense will never go. That will remain as it is. But the question is how to have their defense in depth, but not compromise the agility part, right? And on that point, the full stack visibility on the cloud is extremely important aspect. We can have full stack visibility, again, fundamental 2 blocks, before and after. So before any workload is getting into the cloud, how do I make sure that it goes through a complete assessment from the malware, a malicious code, or from any other container security, application security, etc. So that follows its own life cycle. Once it is deployed, how to protect the containers and Kubernetes in real time, probably that is also another most important component of full stack visibility. So these are some of the areas which is probably will take our country in the next few years down the line. Third important point, which is very close to my heart. Friends, when we talk about cybersecurity, when we talked about cybersecurity a decade and a half back, or at least a decade back, if not decade and a half, it used to be focused around data security, application security, network security, and then a whole lot of gamut of controls. Today, it has clearly taken shape of a reputational risk. So more than anything else, right? Or not compromising or not undermining the importance of the data, the application, the complete layer of cybersecurity. But equal importance today is also getting sort of visible by a reputational risk. So there is a clear-cut shift among the board of directors, among the investor community, among the analyst community, about the reputational risk a cybersecurity risk carries. And when we talk about reputational risk, even a smallest of vendor, partner, or an employee or a customer plays an extremely important role. The expectations of even a normal retail bank customer who is holding even $1,000 in your bank is at par with a corporate customer having millions of dollars in your company. The reputational impact, the customer trust, the customer faith on the digital transaction is extremely important if digital transaction needs to be carried with the trust. So on that, the thought process perspective, it is extremely essential that a transaction of a customer is also end-to-end secured. Okay, again, you go over multiple technology solutions. Probably some of the solutions are listed outside. I just sort of had a glimpse of it. But that's how, the whole digital ecosystem is growing. The fourth and the last point, we cannot forget the regulators. When we talk about cybersecurity carrying the importance of a reputational risk, right? The regulators also probably seeing to the organizations through the same lens. So now, what is the answer? Is there any silver bullet? There is no silver bullet, but probably the strategic philosophy, like what we call about the zero trust, which is also shaping up in our country. Like I said about the full stack visibility and the zero trust probably, is the attack surface. The attack surface of not only the organizations or the banks, but also of your third parties, but also of your subsidiaries, is also sort of becoming more prominent and expected a lot by the regulators and, as I said, even the investors. A fintech working with me, going down, or suffering a data breach, will carry the same reputational damage the way he will carry, the same reputational damage we will carry as organizations working with us. And the regulator will also scrutinize you through the same rigor, the way it happens with you. So obviously expectations are growing, right? Because you are creating a business model which is perceived to generate a lot of revenues and increase your balance sheet. So it comes at the cost of all these elements getting sort of embedded into even the digital transformations. So the reputational risk out of any breach, whether it happens with you, a subsidiary, or a third-party vendor, is same. So how to manage the attack surface in real time, whereby if I have a 300 vendors, it is absolutely difficult or impossible to go and carry out the on-site audit of all 300 vendors. Is it practically possible? Yes or no? Or probably it will take a couple of years to cover all 300 with the same amount of rigor. So attack surface is also coming up as a new philosophy to make sure that at a real point in time, if any vulnerability or a blind spot exists with your third party or your digital ecosystems, we should be in a position to detect it well in time. So there are interesting concepts which is shaping up our digital transformation happening in the country now. Zero Trust was a new kid on the block 2-3 years back. It is still relevant. Probably it will be relevant in the days to come as a philosophy. Full stack visibility, observability will play a role the moment the cloud adoption will start. It is already started, but probably it's not picked up the way it is picked up in the West. Probably, in my understanding, we are far behind in terms of the cloud and the cloudification or the digital transformation originating out of cloud vis-a-vis the way West carries. Third, as I said, is attack surface monitoring will also probably shape these all initiatives as we go along. So let us observe the trend as it shapes up our thought process, as it creates sparks in our thought process, that by translating to the our support to the organization's development in their digital transformation journey. But it's a fantastic era for all of us. Let's all be passionate about, be a part of this cybersecurity, security embedded digital transformation era. All the very best, and thank you. Thank you.